program is intended for a mature audience. If you are not 18 or older, stop listening and find more age-appropriate content. This show will cover topics in a satirical manner. If you are offended by any content herein, that is your own problem. As you have been warned, please do not try this at home, or anywhere else for that matter.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports.
Oh, hell no!
We're back. Oh, sorry, dude. I was trying to make that creepy, but that didn't go so well.
We're back.
Right? Yay, car talk.
Yay. Cars and hard work and busting your knuckles trying to find that 10mm saga you just dropped into the intake.
Yeah. Fucking 10 millimeters. I seen a meme that somebody finally gets it, and it was literally a 10-piece socket set of all 10 millimeters. Like somebody out there gets it. Somebody knows the struggle.
The struggle is real.
Hey guys.
Hi, doctor.
Sup,
how you
Doc?
doing?
Hi.
And we have Robo David.
Either way, it's mechanical. Hey, folks, welcome to Blown Pistons. It's been a fucking while.
I was getting there.
Do you want to do your own intro?
No, it's all right. It's good.
All right, fine, I'll do it.
You already did it. No.
Fine, I'll do it for you. Welcome back to Blown Pistons. Yeah, it's been a while on the Bad Habits Network. Brought to you in part by Resurrection Vapor at resurrectionvapor.com. Lines upon lines of the utterly most fantastic juices that you can possibly find. And, ooh, they kind of make you wiggle, including that Diesel Line Hammer's very own Hammer Down, that peanut butter concoction that he boofs every once in a while. Schneef, maybe?
More like Streamline. You know, I swear he has a tanker truck outside full with an IV hooked up.
Yeah. Well, that's mainline.
Mainline, yeah.
Yeah.
Streamline. Car guy.
Yeah, fair enough. Gravity fed, not just injected.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
There's a reason that shit works.
Dude, I the first vape meet I went and to Hammer, this guy had like a treasure chest, and that was just his batteries, and then he had a hose going up to like an RDA, dude. Like what? It was really cool.
He had a camel pack of fucking e-juice that he dripped into his RDA.
Something like that, yeah.
That's actually reasonably epic.
Yeah, dude,
Right.
it was epic, and I could see Hammer having a tanker with a wire, you know, just boop, there we go. Oh man, but what's new? What's new with the Fit?
My Honda Fit?
Yeah.
My lovely little Banshee?
Yeah.
She needs cleaned.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just shit I need to keep up on, but I haven't had the time. Well, I've had the time, but I've had to take that time to do other shit for other people, you know, that sort of fun things and excitement and as Hammer would say in a certain comedian's voice. But yeah, you know, it's running fine, running great, and gotta get an oil change here in like another 2,000 miles, but hey, whatever. Definitely do need to get new brakes this summer, though. That's...
Oh, yes, I've been having fun with brakes lately. So I've recently bought a 2004 Subaru Impreza Sport Wagon, or WRX Sport Wagon. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is a station wagon, but it's fast station wagon.
Yeah, folks, he has a Subaru and he vapes. Try not to be surprised.
Yeah, right. So it's got a 4-cylinder turbocharged in it with a 5-speed. It's also got a Performance Company's Stage 2 Plus package on it. So that's a new exhaust system from the turbo back. And then an electronic boost controller. It's got their intake. It's got their tune on it. And it's on 18s and coilovers, so it's not slammed to the ground, but it's comfortably, but still super stiff. And it just hauls a bunch of ass, man. And
That's awesome.
I've recently come to the task of doing brakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go to this company that I've always gone to, and I've had no problems with them until recently. I got their brakes, and not their fault, by the way, but I got their brakes. The rears went on just fine. Mm-hmm. I'm like, super, let's do the front. Okay. Shit, I've never done a 4-piston or a 2-piston caliper before. So, well, not dual piston, but I think it's like a think it's like a 4-piston caliper because it's top loaded. Like you don't have to take the caliper off the rotor anymore.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can literally slap new pads in there, put the pins in, and go.
That's awesome.
Yep. Slide it right in and go. So
You still have to compress the calipers. Though.
Yeah. But come to find out, like I go to put the front on of this kit I ordered, don't fit. I'm like, okay, clearly wrong pads. All right, what about the rotors? The rotors, same bolt pattern, but they're just like a half-inch short. So like, there's 3 drills, because they're drilled and slotted rotors, to keep the brakes cooler and everything. And well, it's not even the brakes aren't even grabbing the bottom hole. So I'm like, oh shit. So what do they must be STI rotors, which is their performance, a step above mine. I'm like, okay. So I ordered those, which were $170 just for 2 of them.
Free upgrade, not gonna bitch.
So I go and buy those, and these rotors are pushing 13 inches diameter. And I'm just like, damn. I go to put them on. The bolt pattern's the same, but don't go over the caliper. Shit. So the company's like, yeah, no problem. Happens a lot. We'll take them back. So thank God for that. But now I'm sitting here like, okay. So I took the pads off the passenger side, went to the parts store, and I'm like, we're figuring this out today. Mm-hmm. And the lady's like, okay, well, she's looking up 2002. My car's a 04. She went down to 2002 and then started climbing back up. We found my brake pads in 2007.
Nice.
So I'm not mad. I mean, okay, like you said, it's previous owner upgraded the brakes, mm-hmm. and they are beefy and they're not bad.
Yeah. Well, my brakes.
Why do you need brakes? They only slow you down.
Yeah, I can downshift. Right.
I don't have that option. Mine's an automatic.
That's why I'm wearing my
you can still
3-pedal shirt
mm-hmm.
that says "what" brake and. Psh.
You only need a clutch to fucking take off. You can shift through. You can run through 18 gears and not touch a clutch.
Yeah.
Take off and stop. That's the only time you need one.
Right.
I can do it in a 5-speed. I can do it in a 4-speed. I can do it on my bike.
My old man used to do that with his Charger. He had that shit so perfectly timed, he could hear it when he needed it. Exactly when he could shift into gears without grinding anything. And I'm like,
nice.
I could do it in just about anything. But I drove truck for a long time, too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right.
Yeah. It's it's like little, some sound, some feel, a lot of it's
You can
feeling.
do a lot of it. I mean, you can throw me in a Saturn. I'll drive 5-speed Saturn. Like I said, I'll use clutch to take off and stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
But yeah, I found out that my Subi's clutch is by far different from my Sonoma. My Sonoma, I could teach anybody how to drive stick on a Sonoma, but yet when it comes down to my Subaru,
mm-hmm.
whole other complete game changer. It's completely different. So
well, it's like getting used to driving Banshee, my Fit. It's something I had to get used to. Was one, I'm now driving a tiny fucking car. I had to get used to that. But the thing is, she actually has, it's a larger barrel 4-cylinder, or a just larger liter. I don't know what the actual term is. But anyways, it has a decent beefy engine that's a little too big for it. So something you kind of need to realize, it's, okay, yeah, she's got the weight to go through turns at a much higher speed than you might think. But at the same time, you need to be aware of that and be aware that you can break her loose pretty fucking easily.
right.
It's like, I've taken slick roads a little too fast, and I've felt the rear end brake now. Granted, I'm used to going through skids and learning to autocorrect. I've driven in winter plenty enough times. And it's like, I've seen people fucking spin out in giant fucking trucks without a drop of a fucking hat. And I'm like, dudes, you're in this giant fucking 4-wheel drive.
That's because everybody buys pavement pounders now.
Yeah.
It's not back in the old days where you used to build your truck and you run it like...
You'd run it off-road.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah.
Everybody's
Take it off.
Oh, I'm going to buy this Dodge Cummins and put a 6-inch lift on it and 20-inch Rams and a set of 37s on it. Mini, like little Pro 37s. it never sees the mud. I mean, back when I grew up, you
got a truck to go in the mud.
You know,
It's like, shit, my truck
Right?
broke. Now I can't go mudding. Sweet, time to get a new truck.
well, it's just like with cars. You know, like when we built cars back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you built your car to run it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna blow this small block up. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my point. You know.
Well, it's like, you're right, pavement pounders. It's like, that's the biggest reason why I got my car when I went to the dealership. I told them, look, I travel, I'm getting to the point where I'm traveling a lot. I need something that has awesome mileage and the legs to fucking use it. Because at the time, I was driving a 1998 Ford Century, I think? Or
Nissan Century.
No, it was a Ford something.
Escort.
No.
Taurus.
I can't remember. It was a piece of shit.
Probably
No.
Focus.
I don't know, actually, it wasn't. 1998. Focus didn't come out in 98, did they?
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, Ford
Were they?
POS. Four-door
Right.
sedan POS. And the damn thing was just so busted, broken, whatever, that it did not have the legs for anything long distance. And that was fucking with me. So it's like, look, I need awesome mileage and a car that has the legs to use it. My car on the
Yeah.
highway, on average, gets between 40 and 50 miles to the gallon.
See, and that's the opposite with
Yeah,
me.
that's my car. That's my car too. With the 2017, I have a Ford Fusion Titanium with the Eco Boost.
Nice, nice.
You know, I'm driving from Huntsville to Mobile, and I don't have to fill up. That's a 6-hour drive.
Right.
You know, and I'm doing 85 as we're talking, and that, I mean, she's comfortable at 85. You know, it's like you're not even pushing the pedal down. And people are like, oh, how come you don't get speeding tickets? I'm like, duh, because I drive with slow traffic, you fucktards.
Right.
Yeah, it's
You
like,
know, like, stay
My
off
truck
the brakes.
gets 12 miles to a gallon.
I'm in the 20s, 30s.
But everybody's like, why do you drive a truck? Well,
because it's useful.
guess what?
Yeah.
That makes my living.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pulling 20.
And I want
I'm gonna have to take a picture. My
want
truck
a
has
truck.
285,000 miles on it. Original motor. I did put a tranny in it. I did put a fuel pump in it. Original motor, 280,000 miles.
Right.
It's ugly, but I beat the fucking piss out of it. Like,
Yeah.
I'll leave a stoplight and just stick her to the floor.
Right.
You know.
Well, see, and like, for me, just
Country roads
trying
Take
to
me home
figure out what
to the land
kind of truck
with no
or,
cell signal.
like, you know, like I was saying, like the SFTB. I think everybody needs a vehicle that fucking, like, I don't know. But I'm not sure what kind of truck would be great for me, and I don't want to spend for I don't need a brand new, even an F-150. I don't need something right off the lot. Like,
I guess-
I don't need that.
Well,
I guess the best thing I could tell you is drive one, drive them all. Drive a Dodge and see if you like it. Drive a Chevy, see if you like that.
Drive Ford.
Don't
Don't drive a Toyota.
drive them all.
No.
Drive them all. I mean, Ford makes one of the best trucks, pulling trucks. That's
Nah, I don't know.
best pulling truck is frame wise, and best pulling truck is going to be a Ford.
No, it's not.
Chevy makes a good looking truck. Don't get me wrong.
No,
Chevy makes a great truck.
let's go back to you know what? From
Chevy has a good
73, right, till 94, Chevy's got the best. I mean, I'll outpull it. My old one, I can outpull a Ford with that.
My old man had an 86 Ford F-150. This thing was a fucking monster. It drank oil like it was doing, like you doing shots. But honestly, it was like a 80-degree grade to go up for a DJ show. It was over at Riverside Park here in town, right? And the pavilion we were at, because it was an outdoor show, was down the fucking hill. So it was like, okay, slapped in four-wheel drive, backed it down, everything was cool. And parked it next to the pavilion so we could tear down. Well, thunderstorm had to tear down, right? It's unfortunate. Shit happens, but we don't want our gear to blow up. And the bride and groom were happy to go to the hotel room and fuck. And get away from the mother-in-law, which they both hated. And the mother-in-law, she was the one who bought and paid for everything because she tried to smooze with the bride because they both hate the mother-in-law. And she's bitching at us as we're loading up. Yeah, we're good. The beloved bald man Hammer taking care of business.
Do you know what I'm building right now? I'm going to have to show you pictures. Well, I got a new phone, so I ain't got no pictures yet, but I'll show you the pictures. Actually, we can go look at it when we're done.
Okay.
I got a 76 Ford Highboy, right? Sitting on a 2004 Dodge Cummins frame extended cab. I extended the box 2 feet because it's an extended cab. Mm-hmm. Instead of cutting the frame, I just extended the box. With Dana 60 Chevy axles under it. I'm going to put an Allison behind it. And it's an old 20 or 12 valve. Mm-hmm. The good ones, you know. Mm-hmm. Back before it's a manual field body. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's like we were at the show, and this mother-in-law, she's going off on us as we're loading up. You know, I'm not going to get my fucking deposit back if y'all tear up the yard. So my dad just looks at her, laughs. We slap it into a four-wheel drive, bring it up the grade. We barely even bent any of the grass. And mind you, this ground is now soaked because it was turning into a severe thunderstorm. You know, we had folks that were tearing up the ground in their shoes. This giant-ass monster behemoth truck. Let me put it this way. To change the transmission, we didn't need to jack up the truck. No. This is how huge this fucking damn thing was.
Oh, I gotta find this picture so I can show Johnny my new truck that I'm working on.
And, you know, that's kind of the way that a lot of trucks were built. They were built to last. They were built to do the thing. And that's like Johnny said, in order to find the kind of truck or the kind of vehicles you want, you need to drive them to find out what they do. You need to do your research, and some of that research is hands-on experience. Like you were talking about during your show. I just knife-handed the computer. Like you were talking about during your show, Davia, you were talking about I can't remember the year, but an Escalade, a pearl white Escalade that had 200,000 miles on it, and you were worried because of the higher mileage, if that would function better for you.
Well, shoot, that has the LS motor. It should have the LS
That's
motor.
That's what I'm building right now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that has the LS motor. You know, that thing's probably just being broken in. So, you know, I'd say jump on it. The worst case, you know, LS motors, you know, you might pay about $500 for a junkyard motor, but you know, to have it gone through, that'd be up to you. By the way, to have it gone through and checked over, you know, maybe another grand and maybe another grand for labor.
It's
so
like she's looking at picking up the vehicle for $2,000. My suggestion, it's kind of an option for her because she has to drive all the way up here to go pick up shit and bring back. Her option is to drive up here, up north, grab a U-Haul with a pull along so she can pull her car back with her. And that's still going to cost her $2,000. And
that's a shit. Like,
it's like
I'm old school. I mean, like
my kind of point of view. It's like, all right, get the vehicle, put in the investment to give it a once over to make sure it'll actually survive the trip because you don't buy a vehicle.
It's
without
like my
doing
Trans Am I bought. I got Trans Am now. I got 84 Trans Am.
You know, you give it the once over, new fluids, new oil,
5-speed,
right? You get the new fluids, you get the oil filter, spark plugs, distributor, all that fine.
I'm ripping it out because it's got 305 in it, so I'll rip that out. I'm gonna build 383 stroke or Ford, throw it in.
You know, you spend a couple hundred.
That's the stuff you do when you're. I mean,
yeah.
So getting back to this Escalade here, I think do you have any mechanic friends that are like a certified mechanic or anything like that?
I do, but they're not here. And the person that's selling the Escalade is a friend of mine. Her dad buys vehicles, fixes them, and flips them.
Okay. So, if they are a friend of you or a friend of yours, just say, hey, look, can I go get this inspected by a mechanic shop? And you know, most people don't have an issue with that. Go have it inspected. You might pay a little bit for that, but you know, peace of mind there.
Right.
And, you know, have them look it over, and you know.
Right. And in this particular case, it's, you know, you're going to explain it to them. It's like, look, I'm going to take the first time I get this vehicle, I'm going to have to take it 12 hours up north or 18 or however fucking long it takes you to get up here and back. That's basically going to be your first trip in the vehicle. You need to know what's wrong with it and get it taken care of beforehand so you don't wind up breaking down in Illinois dodging bullets.
See, and I'm the opposite kind of. I'm the kind of guy like, all right, I'll buy this. It's got a blown motor, training shot, whatever. Well, but, either all right, the motor runs good, training shot. No, guess what? I'll rip training out, rebuild it in my garage, throw a tranny back in it.
Right, and that's
training's
fine, but
good, rear ends are good.
But once again, you already know what's wrong with it. You already know what could go wrong with it, etc. And that's what she needs to know about the Escalade. She needs to get to that point.
But,
it's fine to already get the work done yourself. That's fine, great, grand, and wonderful. But you still need to know what's wrong before you wind up taking it.
But that's why I buy cars cheap. I mean, Johnny, hey, someone's gonna sell you something, right? You gonna tear a tranny out and rebuild it in your garage?
No, I'd probably just replace the tranny.
Yeah, see, to me, I just
buy a junkyard trans and throw in it.
Well, I'm the opposite because it's cheaper. I mean, I can go buy a rebuild kit and I'll do it myself.
Right.
And that's why I got,
Or what you could do is go, do both. Go buy a junkyard trans, throw it in it. Now you have a ticking time bomb where you don't know how much life's in that trans, But in the meantime, that'll give you time to enjoy the car while you can rebuild this transmission. And then once you get then you can play with it. You can
I'll buy a beam.
This transmission's a little weak, 3 and 4. Let's put a better pack in, or let's upgrade the packs.
It's like just changing. Just change shift points. I mean,
right.
All right, it's not that hard. You could change a turbo 350, 700 R4, turbo 400. You could change the shift points just by pulling out the governor gear. All it is a spring and a gear. Mm-hmm. Pull the cap off. All right. Well, it's shifting too hard. Well, you pull it out, and you put a C6 spring in there, throw it back together. I mean...
Yeah, but this is all shit that, one, you learn as you work on vehicles. Two, that you can take to a mechanic and say, okay, I'm buying this vehicle, all right, and I need you to inspect it. Tell me what's wrong. Tell me, what I'm going to have to invest in it. Yeah, because that's really what it boils down to is, you can do it yourself or you can take it to someone to get it done, but you still need to know what you need to invest in it later, right? Because you need to know that it has a blown tranny or that it's going to blow in the next 1,000 miles.
A blown transmission. I could buy a truck right now with the blown transmission, and I know it's not cost me $350 for a rebuild kit.
Right. But
I could do it in my garage by myself. I have all the tools and everything. I didn't change clutch packs, pull the pump out.
Kenny, hypothetical on this one. What if you didn't know? What
then
if
you're fucked?
Exactly.
So let's take this from her point of view. She doesn't know a lot about vehicles.
Yeah,
in theory.
Now you gotta go and put it on scanner and
exactly.
That's another thing. That's why
it's like buying a house. All right, you buy a house, you get a house inspection. Same principle.
Yeah, but I mean, also do a walk around of the vehicle and keep in mind, that $2,000 number that they threw at you. Essentially
it's an initial investment.
It's a number, though. A lot of people, they'll mark it up $5,000 or $1,000 above what they really need. So you could. There's a saying out there. Kenny knows this all too well. Is you can buy a 10,000 or a 7,000 car for $5,000 if you have the cash in hand.
Right.
Exactly.
But
that was my idea behind it too.
Here's a golden rule to live by.
Which is why you go to the guy, you say, all right, I'm going to give you $50. I want to take this to a mechanic, get it inspected so I know what I need to invest in it right away or at least down the road.
And keep in mind, Davey, we'll rent out Kenny for a flight ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, and it's really cheap because he fits easily in the overhead storage compartments. I mean, he counts as a carry-on.
But you just got to leave the zipper open halfway so I can breathe and suck bottles down.
Right.
But
I mean,
his mileage is really easy, just 2 bottles of Jack Daniel per 1,000 miles.
No, I don't drink Jack no more.
For me, I just don't.
Go on, David.
The reason why I have the car question is because I think it's a waste. If I'm going to spend $2,000 renting a truck, a shitty U-Haul truck that's super uncomfortable to ride in, and it just guzzles gas, and it's
it's been beaten up to hell anyways.
I do need I do need to correct Gary on one thing here. He said something about the white getting, scratches showing or something like that. Hard to keep clean.
No, it's actually the other.
It's the other way around. Black is absolutely the worst color for scratches, dents, because everything shows on
white
black.
Truck,
yeah, especially on a black
have.
truck, because you wind up always, even if it's a matte black, you wind up with that kind of mirror finish, and you can see where that line is thrown off just like a little bit. Like a while back when I was in Milwaukee, I was sitting at a stoplight, and a guy wound up tapping my passenger quarter panel in the back. Just traded salt, nothing big, nothing whatever. Both just said Merry Christmas, whatever, moved on. And there is just a tiny bit of wave in that back quarter panel now. And I can see that when I'm actually looking for it. But, I mean, obviously when it was brand new, you couldn't.
I might be able to fix that soon.
I'm aware.
I'm playing with paintless dent repair equipment. So
Sweet.
I'm
at another service.
I'm old school. Like, I'll buy a truck for $500. I'll throw $1,500 into it. Honestly.
Right.
Yeah, and then you'll be able to sell it for about 3 or 4.
I'll sell it for, $55.
Mm-hmm.
But I run, 80s. Like my truck, my newest vehicle I got is an 01. I beat the living piss out of it.
But my word of advice, if you go to your
almost 300,000 miles on it.
If you go to your
give
buddy,
her the beans every day.
Yeah.
If you go to your buddy and you say, "Look, I'm going to give you $50 and I want to get it inspected," and he says, "No, it's sight unseen," it's nope, fuck it, walk away.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's another thing. Don't be afraid to walk away. I mean, like, I've watched too many episodes of a particular show with a monkey on it, and I just kind of picked up what he was doing. Like boom, cut him in half almost immediately. And then it's like, okay, well, cut him in half and kind of build off that.
My Trans Am, I bought that. All right, it's set for 7 years. It's an 85. All right, so it's not fuel injected. It's got 305 carbureted, Edelbrock intake. Fucking, it's got Edelbrock intake, Edelbrock carb, long tube headers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5-speed, but it's a 305. But it's been setting for 7 years. They wanted $1,600 for it. I went and looked at it, and I'm like, I'll give you $500.
Right.
I mean, it's been sitting. So now I gotta do brake lines. I gotta do fuel lines. I gotta do 4 pans. Take it or leave it. And then I walked away. Guess what? Next day they called me back. You got $500 cash? Yeah, I do. Take it.
Yep. And that's go on, Davey.
That's a good idea. I mean, the thing is like
you can't show up too eager to buy something.
No. It was something that a friend of mine, she said that, her mom got sick or whatever, and that was the vehicle that she wanted to buy because he has like a couple of them or whatever. And I'm like, well, how much was your dad going to charge? She said $2,000, and he was going to take care of everything. And I said, well, ask him if that price would hold for me, and when I come up there, I'll check it out. And if it's worth it, then, I can justify it because I really don't want to pay for the U-Haul.
And I tell you what, those Escalades, they do have towing power, and they ride like a freaking cloud.
They do.
They're phenomenal ride quality.
They are.
And if we get it cleaned up right, you get that thing ceramic coated. Not only will the ceramic coating more than likely outlive the life of the vehicle, but there's been vehicles out there that have hit 300,000, 400,000 miles.
I got 2 of them.
You keep the oil in it. You're not.
Oil changes is a big thing. Otherwise, you can pull the intake off of any. I mean, I don't care if it's a 2005, 2008, 2010. If you don't get the oil changed all the time, you pull the top of the intake off. You'll see the buildup.
And run premium. For the love of God, buy the expensive gas.
Ethanol.
No.
I'm big on no ethanol.
Yep, my Firebird's on 91, my Subaru's on 91, just because
I
don't like ethanol.
Once I get my TA, like, it's got 305 in it. Once I throw my 383 in it, I think me and you should run them.
Well, it's like
I gotta have you look at my carb or something.
well, it's like even my
carb is
so like how much does it cost to have the coating done on it?
Well, that's all depending on the condition of the paint, really, and how far we need to go. But a 7-year ceramic coating could be ballparked around $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah, see,
so
I'm the kind of guy
a lot of
I
that
go to
is
Farm
the actual
Fleet.
cost of the material itself, not necessarily the cost of you doing it.
Right. Well, my labor is built into that. I usually charge about $400 just for the labor, because it takes me 8 hours to apply.
Yeah, talking about your labor. Did you bring business cards? Because I got a lot of guys that I'm trying to help you out.
But yeah,
no, I
can
told
bring
you
some.
that in the fucking that messenger thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't bring any. I'll next time.
All right, because there's a lot. Like, I have a couple buddies that are getting ready to sell a car. Mm-hmm. They do concrete work, but they want to get detailed. Mm-hmm. And I throw your name out there. I honestly do.
Appreciate it.
So yeah, just
I just need business cards because I don't know your number and shit. And I just tell them.
So, attentionfordetail.com.
Wow.
Just send them to the website. My prices are on there.
We're talking about guys that are old school like me.
Okay. I can.
Just shoot Kenny a message with your information. Where exactly is your shop?
It is 227 East Main Street, downtown Whitewater.
Yeah, it used to be the old camper shop.
Yep, the old camper shop. It used to be a Texaco gas station in the 30s.
Before.
Yep.
Then it was a camper shop. Now you got her.
Yep. And then it was a detail shop, and then it was me. Yeah. So I had all his business coming toward me, so I'm like, yeah. And but yeah, things are going good. I got a coating job tomorrow to do, so
nice.
Pretty excited about that.
What year?
But I just, I'm trying to, throw you business. Mm-hmm. I'm not good on internet shit, so
that's all right.
I need cards. I'll hand out cards.
Yeah. So just
I'm a phone number guy.
Yeah, message him your information for your business.
Sure.
And yeah,
I can give you the phone number to the shop as well.
All right.
You got paper right there. Pens are right there.
Yeah, do that, because you know what? I'm a paper pen kind of guy.
It's like, business cards unfortunately are out because, it's getting close to summer, which means business is picking up.
I just ordered some more.
Exactly.
So, and then I'm going to be taking them to my part-time job, just so I have at least a stash at my part-time job.
And, like I said, I applied at your part-time job, right? That was just because my hand was busted up and I couldn't work for 2 months.
Yeah.
But honestly, I can't stand there and talk to people like you do.
Yeah, that's okay, man.
Some people can. I understand your point of view, Kenny. It's like in my particular case in restaurant, not Bloom Pistons, sorry, a little sushi here. There's a reason there's a 3-foot concrete wall between me and humanity when it comes to being in the kitchen. That's because, generally speaking, I shouldn't talk to customers. I can for a very limited amount of time just because I've had to learn to be that guy because it's necessary. But to that end, when I hear a customer wants to order a well-done filet mignon, I just look at him like, are you a fucking idiot? And
cut the horns off, wipe its ass, and throw it on the grill. Flip it over in 2 minutes. Put
grill
it on
marks, bud. Grill marks, bud.
S&P is the way for me.
I don't even care if there's grill marks on it. If it ain't bleeding, I ain't eating.
I'll have to show you the video.
Well, see, then you'd hate it when I cook because I actually let my steak rest, even when it's rare.
It's just I like.
Ask this man my steaks.
Yes.
I've eaten your steaks before.
I'm aware.
Yeah, one of his steaks sobered you up for like 2 minutes.
Admittedly, the penultimate student, that is Cody, who's internship, college.
Must have been a big steak.
No, dude, no. It was just you came over and you were already been.
It was the
drinking.
steak that Cody cooked.
Yeah, the steak that Cody cooked. You literally took a bite and you went from like slurring your words to, holy shit, that's really good.
Yeah, trust me, Cody picks up on every bit of information that is ever put down in front of her. She is awesome fucking student, and I love her. I love my sister. I love both my sisters.
Yes, sister good.
I'm just no hillbilly. I don't care. I don't give a shit about nothing, really.
I do.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
fucking
care
food.
about my kids, and that's about it.
All right, you know how you care about concrete?
Yeah.
Your job? All the shit that you learn because of it and having to deal with fruit cups that don't quite want to work that hard.
Oh, don't get me going.
We did a midnight sushi for that
Yeah,
shit.
but-
I'm the same way when it comes to food.
And I'm the same way when it comes to cars.
Exactly.
And I am too. And it's like, no offense to you, Johnny, or anything. I've probably built more motors, right?
Oh yeah. You work hard. He works hard. I work hard. We all work an insane
But-
amount of hours. You know.
But when it comes to motors, I mean, I can home a cylinder and fuck. I mean, I'll do it in my garage with the drill. Like, I build motors, you know. It's like,
Yeah, you build more motors than I have, and that's because I got to rebuild a 350 in school, and that's like I tried rebuilding motors since then, but all this like fuel shit and
And let's not forget our beloved guest, Dr. Davia.
Yep.
God damn, that woman works her tiny little ass off.
yeah, she does.
Yeah, everybody.
well, she does. She does those like ass kegels because she's always clenching her cheeks.
Well,
Dude,
yeah, you have to get
all
over
the
the
way,
counter.
all the way to Mobile, all the way to Mobile.
That's right.
But the thing is, like, I want to learn. Like,
I'm just,
I want to learn about, like, I'm a didactic learner. So I learn basically on the job or, like, on the floor, and there's, and I don't see, like, as a woman, like, if I have a contractor come out and price out a job, they think, A, I'm stupid, and B, they're going to upcharge me. And so...
And that's a huge thing with the automotive industry. I mean, we have a girl on the show here every now and then. Her name's Tiffany, and she's talked about this before. She'll have like men assume that she knows nothing about cars,
but she's
she's
gearhead.
Yeah, she's a gearhead to the core. She knows more. She'd probably know more how to change an engine faster than this guy would. Most guys would, and she's fucking awesome. But it's this day and age, we can't be assuming like that anymore because
Exactly.
the stereotype is, because there are now women gearheads. Like, I'm sure your daughters
Oh, yeah, my daughter.
Yeah, your daughters are going to know how to rebuild an engine better than most men can.
Well, like, I bought my daughter's a 3-wheeler a couple years ago, and I said, here's the rules. You guys can ride it. When it breaks down, you guys got to fix it.
Right.
Guess what? They change the spark plugs in it. They do chores, like rake the yard. They'll pay for your fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, because I grew up that way. I mean, like, I built trucks my entire life. Trucks and hot rods.
Yeah.
I have.
Right.
When I was racing, it was, can you give me the money to... No. You work your ass off to get it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta earn it, yeah.
That's what I am with my daughters. I mean...
Yeah.
My oldest daughter would tell you, I can't ride my 3-wheeler because I didn't rake the yard today. Well, it sucks to be you. Granted, I do buy the gas and let them ride it, but,
Yeah.
That's because you wanted to ride it.
Well, I put my... This is no joke. I'll tell you guys a story. My Harley... I have a Harley at the house that's kind of down right now. I got to get security system reset. Well, my dad shows up one day on his bike. My youngest daughter was at 5 at the time. I threw her on the gas tank. I was giving all the kids a ride on my dad's Harley. Well, we hit a train, so we had to go down a different road. And we're running down, where Rockport goes out to Willowdale? Well, we're running down there, and here's my 5-year-old daughter sitting in between my legs on the gas tank. And she's yelling faster. I'm grabbing gears. All right. I look down. I'm doing 85 with the 5-year-old, no helmet, just sunglasses on her, in her pajamas. And we're cruising at 85. And she's yelling, faster, Dad, faster. I'm like, nope, we got to stop.
Yep.
But, I mean, that's how my kids are because I don't even have internet or cable TV at my house because that's just not me, And that's how I raise my kids. But yeah, hey, go grab me a 9/16 wrench. Do you want a box or open end? You know.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's awesome. Like, my kids have no interest in cars whatsoever. Like, I have my youngest playing with the steering wheel because I have like a racing simulator in my house, and my youngest was kind of playing with it, like, okay, you know, but there's no interest there.
You know, my oldest daughter says, "Dad, when I get my first truck," like all my girls, they drive my oldest daughter has a truck at the house, and she does donuts in my backyard with it. You know what she says? "Dad, this truck's awesome, but I wish I could shift it." She wants a 5-speed.
No, there you go.
I mean,
that's a dying art, man.
Yeah.
Like, one of the reasons I got my Subaru is because I got tired of front-wheel drive. I'm like, man, I'm getting tired of being tossed around in the snow, and I burnt out the transmission just trying to get out of my friend's driveway, you know? I'm like, dude, I'm done. Who makes one of the best all-wheel drive systems? That's a car.
Subaru does.
Subaru. Rally experience, rally-inspired all-wheel drive. Like, you know, all right, so I'm getting a Subaru. All right, I like wagons, all right? I've always liked wagons.
I have.
You know?
I had a 63 Chevy wagon, all right? I bought it at a junkyard for $100 down in Coal Hill, Arkansas. All right, it had a 235 straight six with the power glide transmission. This
Fast
is no
and
joke.
faster.
That car. The deal was, I bought the car and I was gonna throw a 350 in it. I made a deal with my uncle. I'm like, if that motor blows up, I can have your 454, which is board stroked, blueprinted. I mean, he had it sit. He was gonna put it in his Blazer. Well, we ended up rolling the Blazer a couple weeks before we were going to put it in. So this motor just sitting there on the engine stand. So I'm like, he's like, if you blow up the motor in that car, I'll, you know, say this 454. This was like I said, it was a 1963 with the old roll down window.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Crank window that rolled it down. It was a station wagon. 2-door station wagon. And I put a brick on that motor on the gas pedal and let it run till it ran out of gas. Couldn't blow it out. So then I drained all the antifreeze and oil out of it. I had the exhaust manifold glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, there ain't no way this fucker's gonna start. That old 235, the next morning we went out there, that car started. It knocked like a bitch, but it started.
Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing with the 3800, the GM 3800 motor.
Yeah.
People have tried to do the same thing. They've drained the oil, just dropped the oil pan, and let it ran. And people got pissed off because they were trying to blow the thing up.
And you can't.
It was still going. Like, holy crap, man!
It'll knock like a son of a bitch, but guess what? That's why I like 305s. You know, like when I was running my demolition derbies, I always ran 305 because you could float the lifters.
Mm-hmm.
It don't matter. You can rev them to the piss. The lifters will float. You know.
Yeah.
We're like on a 350 or 327. Yeah. You know, you'd already shut a rod through the block.
Yeah. So one of the things that got me excited about the Subaru is I bought it stripped out. Like, there was no carpet in it. There was no trunk. Well, not no trunk, but there's nothing in the trunk. So with the Subaru, they have a subfloor, and then they have the stuff on top. So we hit the Facebook Marketplace, and I found a guy stripping one out. I'm like, dude, I need all the plastics. I'm like, everything but the headliner, and then the A and B pillars. I need everything. And he got me about 90%. He gave me the carpet and everything. I'm like, okay, well, the carpet's trashed. I'm like, besides, I don't want black carpet. I want the STI blue carpet. So I took a duplicolour vinyl dye, flat black, and I dyed everything. I dyed all the tan like a nice black. I dyed the carpet black, and then I stripped the fabric off of the flooring, and I put carpet foam down, and then I wrapped that in fabric, and then I did the center in blue. And so it's a nice black back there, a nice blue in the middle, and then I bought the plastics to finish it off.
I'm a die-hard fucking 350 fan.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. Chevy didn't change their block for 30 years.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Because it's a good
Yeah.
GM,
Except for I have the 6.6 400.
Yeah, but still.
That's a Pontiac motor.
Yeah, but guess what? Who built it?
Pontiac.
GM did.
No, that's a straight Pontiac motor.
I'll bet you who owns Pontiac.
Right, but this is old. you know.
No. Who owns Pontiac?
But Pontiac was his own entity before GM.
For 2 years.
Right.
71 and 72, Pontiac had their own shit. What year's yours?
76.
All right, that's a GM motor.
Right. But
run the numbers on it. It'll come up as a GM motor.
Okay. I mean, it is, but it's not an Oldsmobile motor, you know.
No, it's not.
You know, so.
That's a GM motor. That's just like GMC and Chevy pickups. You know, guess what? They're one and the same.
They are, except for the trim levels.
Yeah,
and the only
exactly.
reason the GMC survived the cut is because there are customers willing to pay for those options.
Exactly.
The only reason Pontiac got cut, and mind you, Bob Lutz of GM, he wanted to keep Pontiac. He had an all rear-wheel drive lineup for the Pontiac set to go. And he wanted to keep them because that was going to, elevate them up. But because they were Pontiac, he was forced to admit Pontiac and made any money.
You know why
in
that
10 years.
happened? In the 70s, why GM bought out Pontiac was in the 70s, they went through that fuel crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Pontiac went under.
Yeah.
GM bought them out, and that's why Pontiac survived.
Right. But I mean, and then Buick survived the cut because of their market in Japan. When the Japanese man grows up, he doesn't want no Cadillac; he wants a Buick. And then
well, think all right. I mean, you get have you ever heard of a 301?
Yeah, that's a Ford motor, isn't it?
No, 302 is a Ford motor.
Okay.
Did you know Pontiac put out a 301 in 79?
Okay. No.
Yeah, there's a 301 small block.
Right.
It was only and 79 was the first year and last year they ever did it. Because then it went to the 305.
Yeah.
And 80.
Right.
But Pontiac had a 301 small block.
Yeah.
I have toes.
You have toes?
I'm sorry, I've been in this shit for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean,
We get it. You're old, you're grizzled, and most of your blood is either oil or...
beer.
In his dick.
Well, either way, it's ethanol.
But, yeah, look it up.
Kenny's blood type is E85.
No, it's not. Don't lie. It's 90 proof.
It's 91.
91.
Some high octane.
But, I mean, I'm the kind of guy, I can tear a motor apart and put it back together.
Yeah. Well, I might inquire your services next winter. I'm thinking about overhauling the 400.
Yeah.
Just get
those are boat anchors. No offense or nothing.
I
love a 400 because they're a torque motor. All right. Don't get me wrong. I've ran 400s before.
Burnout machine. That's what you're telling me.
But if you want an RPM motor, grab a 350, 327. You throw a 327, 350 heads on it, you'll grab compression like there's no tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I thought my other option was the 455 HO.
Oh, yeah.
You know
what okay. Like people will say, "Oh, I got a 355." No, you don't. You have a 350 that's bored 30 over. All right, you got a 350. It's not a 355.
Right.
Toast.
That shit pisses me off. Oh, I have a 355. No, you don't. You have a 350 that's bored 30 over with an RV cam in it.
Or those Buick Roadmaster guys. It has a Corvette motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does with detuned heads.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like almost there.
Well, you want to talk about heads? What's the best heads ever made? For a big
Redhead.
block?
Aluminum ones.
No.
Redhead.
Camel humps. Cast iron camel humps.
Well, you know why they're called, or you know why Hemi's called a Hemi, right?
Why?
Hemispherical chambers.
But camel hump heads are the best. And you could tell because on the stamp it says 468, 469. I could be wrong on that, but I know it's a 468 or 469. Best heads ever built. Okay. They're camel hump for a big block.
Yeah, my heads on my 400 are 6X.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's
a small chambers.
Yeah, that's...
if you know how to read the numbers, you could tell what your valve guides and your opening, closing valves are, and you can set them to that. I know I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I know that the motor in my Firebird's original. It's original motor, original block.
So you got numbers matching
heads.
car.
Almost. I do have the because it has an Edelbrock intake on it, and it has an Edelbrock 750 carb.
Yeah.
So
that's standard.
Yeah.
Probably 650 actually.
No, it's 750 when I ran the numbers.
750?
Yep. And I have the original carb and the intake. I'm just kind of on the fence.
They had a quadra junk on it, didn't it?
I think so.
You know, I'll tell you right now, the hardest carburetor to rebuild is a quadra jet.
Quadra junk.
Exactly. Holly, you can rebuild that in 5 minutes if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Edelbrock, I could rebuild an Edelbrock in about 15, 20 minutes. And that's stripping it all the way down. New jets, floats, everything.
Yeah. Well,
quadra jet.
I might have to give you a case of beer because I think my carb needs to be redone. So I had buddy Sean rebuild it.
Yeah,
last year.
I remember he did.
Yeah, it's all right. But when I hold her open, she chokes out.
Yeah.
So,
you know why?
Phrasing.
I'll tell you right now what's happening. If you hold it wide open, it starts choking out. You're not getting enough fuel. The jets are fucking too closed.
I think
you
they're
got to
too
open
small.
up the jets.
Yeah, I think
and you could change the jets. I mean,
I just
it's
need a
not
jet
hard.
kit. Yeah, I need to rejet it.
It takes you 5 fucking minutes to change jets on an Edel.
Well, you let me know when you're free, man.
Well, I'm free I just got called today. Today and tomorrow I'm off, and the weekend I don't go back to work till Monday because of fucking rain.
Well, if you're off tomorrow, I've got some time. I'll be at my shop tomorrow.
All right.
I just need the money to get the jets because I don't have jets.
And you know what? Though you can open them up too. I mean, they might be you might have the right jets, but they might be fucking too closed.
Right.
On Edelbrock, I mean, they're right there in the front. You can fuck with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to get the perfect time? Have you ever timed a car?
Without a light?
No, with a light.
I've never played with it, but I've seen it done.
All right. You know the best way to get the perfect timing?
Cup of black coffee sitting on the carb.
When you time your car, right, and you think you got it perfect, have someone sit in there, right? Put it in drive, bring it up to 15 to 2,000 RPM, right? And have their foot on the brake, just bring it up that way, and then retime it. Because your best performance is when 15 to 200, right? Like I could time a 350 in about 10 minutes.
Right.
But if it's not under a load, you're going to get a sputter out of it.
Yeah. That's why I'm kind of getting like a sputter, kind of a sputtering.
It could be a timing issue.
Yeah.
It might not even be the carb.
I've been playing with the timing, trying to get it like what feels better and whatnot. I got to about where it sits at about
$4
$1,000
degrees off. Or
well,
what?
I got it at about $1,000 with an Impark and about 700 RPM in gear.
Yeah, see, you run it up to about 1,500 in gear, right? And all you gotta do is sit in there and hold the brake, and you can feel it. It's old school shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, come down to the shop. We'll play with it.
Eastbound and down.
Load them up and chuck them. We're gonna do what they say can't be done. Got a long way to go. A short
time to get there. But yeah, I mean, 99% of the shit I've learned is from old school cowboys.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But it's like when I was racing. I mean, I was racing down at Rockford for a while, and then I won the gauntlet down there. Well, they're like, pull a compression test. I'm like, all right, any cylinder, pick it. I was over compression. So I came back, and ran again. And I'm like, what am I going to do about my compression, This old cowboy that I was hanging out with, he's like, double the head gaskets. They'll drop your compression down. Because I got disqualified. Like, I won the race, like, in running and time. But the motor was built too much. So we ended up, he's like, throw double head gaskets on it. I'm like, all right. So we doubled the head gaskets and dropped my compression down. Came back. I took second that time. And they're like, you know what, drops your compression. They're little tricks you can learn. Mm-hmm. But that's in racing. I mean, you don't have a street car. I could build you a street car.
Yeah. My Firebird's just kind of a fun cruiser. I want enough power. I can smoke tires and just do dumb shit in it,
The only reason I got this Trans Am is because, for one, it's like 85. And it's a 5-speed. I'm not going to run that 305 that's in there. It's got long tube headers. It's got an Edelbrock intake. Just a regular, it's nothing. It's got a 650 Edelbrock on it. The only reason I got it is because it fits me and my kids in it. And I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to throw a 383 stroker in it. And it's something for me and the kids to do together.
Right.
Because my girls are gearheads like me,
Yeah.
So I'll build a 383 stroker. I already got the block. And I got 99% of the parts, Buy a gasket kit, fucking home cylinders. And that's another thing, like, everybody thinks, oh, Bort. Home's fucking cylinders. You really ain't got to do a whole lot.
No.
Right.
Just put a bigger crank in there.
Yeah. A little bit of a cam. RV cam. I'm not going to lie. An RV cam is fucking awesome. I built pulling trucks. Well, you've seen the shit I built.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm half-ass decent with the motor.
Yeah.
Motor and a beer can.
So it's not a can of coffee. It's not a cup of coffee. It's a can of beer.
All right.
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's like my old man was taught to time an engine by putting a cup of black coffee on the carburetor, and he taught me the same thing, and I just keep looking at it like, I could do the same thing with Guinness.
Yeah, true.
I can time a motor without a light. I can. And I don't care what anybody says. You run a 350 Chevy, 4 degrees off, that fucker's on a run like they're a rape tape. You put it on top dead center and run it at 0 or whatever. Yeah, it'll run good, and you're the factory specs, but there's a difference.
All right. All right. Well, we're kind of closing down on time here on the final lap. So
I gotta take a piss anyhow.
all right. Well,
Dang.
Do we have any more sponsors, Mike?
Let's see. We got the Ken Andrews and Peregrinus Vapes that's coming up
Does
this
he have a show
Saturday.
coming?
Yeah, this Saturday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So check those guys out because those guys always have some tasty treats.
We got the James and Jackie, Boss Lady and Boss Man at Ideal Vapor, 2 fantastic locations. One in Berlin, Fuck the Police, Wisconsin. The other in Portage, Wisconsin. Ooh, free pool Fridays. Yeah, my roommate and I went up a couple weeks ago where I picked up this lovely Hexhome. I love it. And he partook of the pool table against someone that was there and wound up getting his ass kicked. It's like, yeah, they don't fuck around.
You know what's funny, though, is when I bought said Subaru, I had, like, about 3 months before that, I lost my vape. Like, I'm thinking, okay, another ex-girlfriend freaking stole my mod, right? Well, so I'm pissed. Anyway, I buy a Subaru. I put on a jacket I ironically haven't worn in about 3 months. And I'm like, this pocket feels a little heavy. And sure as shit, as soon as I bought a Subaru, the vape appeared. I'm like, whoa.
The vape gods have given into their own commandments.
Right?
Magic.
Yeah, and that's James and Jackie at Ideal Vapor, idealvaporllc.com. and .net and or .net.
And I do have to thank that Ken Andrews guy because he's the one that hooked me up with a new Tesla 120.
Yeah, those things are awesome.
Yes. It's awesome for me. I know many people are on the fence about them, but I like the way it feels in my hand, and I like the trigger button.
Yep.
So,
and we
it's
got
good.
the friend of the network, Boss Lady Vapors, Bad Habits Network, in the coupon code area to get you 25% off on the checkout.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And who's this doctor lady that we were on? Wasn't she on a different show?
Oh yeah, she's been on a couple.
Yeah, this doctor, this kind of relatively vertically challenged but still fantastically awesome lady who's been on the phone with us, listening to us jabber on for God only knows how long, and puts up with our shit. This woman who seems to think that the world needs to kind of help each other, help itself, and be CEO centric. Oh shit, she's right. We do need to work together. Yeah, that is Dr. Davia Gorman. Sorry, I can't. Why do I think Davia Gorman? Doc, what's your fucking last name?
It is Gorman.
She said, "Fuck it, I'm done."
Fair enough. Doc, I'm sorry I fucked up your last name again. You know what?
Well, like, when I was racing, I blew up my motor.
Kenny, hold on for a second, because we're wrapping up.
All right.
Johnny?
So I just want to thank you all for joining us. And Blown Pistons is not dead. We are coming back. We'll try and get Sir Dave and Madam Tiffany on the show. Whether it be phone in or whatever. But we will try to get us all back together eventually. But this isn't the last of us. We're coming back.
Yep. So, folks, if you like what you hear, if you don't like what you hear, go fuck your couch. Thanks for the download. Like, share, and subscribe us all over social media.
Smoke tires, not drugs.
Depends what your bad habit
You can
is.
do them both at the same time.
Peace.